Let's really change everyone's life one story at a time. And you guys are doing that, but you're also doing it in a grandiose way. And the question I have once again for both of you is, have there ever been people that have told you face to face that they could never foresee themselves devoting their lives to such a cause? That maybe they weren't impacted by a loss. I know there are people that sit down in those meetings that have, and have been inspired to speak. And we've spoken about some of them who've showed up on this show. But have there ever been people that have spoken to you guys and have told you that even though they've never dealt with loss on such a level, that they feel inspired to do more?
I've received letters from that impact panel. And the Salvation Army is the sponsor up there, right, William? And I've received people that have come to there and laid it out. Like, listen, man, I didn't have to be there, and I was made to be there,
right.
And I put stealing my money and all this stuff. And then you told your story, and everybody talked, and he goes, "Thank you," because he has a son at home that he didn't realize what he was doing to everybody else. Just it was his problem. And so for me, the answer is no. I've never had one person say, "Don't make me sit through this." I have had people say, "I wish I was better prepared to sit and listen to it," because emotionally, we tear you apart.
No, my question was the opposite. Have you had people that weren't affected by a loss come up to you and tell you that even though they weren't, they still want to be a part of this?
Yes. What can we do? Where can it be?
Oh, definitely.
We have volunteers here all the time down here, people who just want to do whatever it takes. I have the signs for the community service, and we have people standing on the street corners about DUI and drunken impaired and distracted driving, and all those things. Because, and I say again, we take you by the heartstrings. But the man who's in front of us now, William, and I haven't met a lot of men. I said that before. I've met a lot of females for whatever reason. I just haven't met a lot of men. But here's one who takes you on his ride, but he makes it about everybody else. Because he makes sure, like, hey, you don't want to live this way. And he tells a story, hey, you don't want to live this way. And who trust me, you don't want this to happen to you. And the whole time you're, no. And I firmly believe that it's one of the more positive things going in this, as far as what offenders have to go through. Impact panels are just that. They're impactful. And it's because of men like this. And I'm sorry, long answer. I've had a lot of people, once they hear, because you can't make this up. You can't make up William's story.
I read it and I couldn't believe it, and I'm baffled by it. I want to bring up comments for William because I want William to respond too. There's a lot of great comments here. Mindy has a comment. It's absolutely ridiculous. I hear the argument all the time that weed smokers don't drive impaired. They stay home. Yet we see it more often and more often. JC Farina, Mindy, so ridiculous, unbelievable. I see potheads in my own neighborhood drive all over the road at high speeds. Residential neighborhoods. JC's also on board. Bill and William, I do what I need to do to get the message out. Thank you for that. Tammy, I witnessed my aunt turn into a miserable person filled with hatred when my cousin was killed. JC, drunk driving is still a major problem in this country. And all you hear is more and more states wanting to legalize marijuana for money. My opinion, another tool for impaired driving to happen. How about this, Mindy? I remember attending a vigil like that, like William did. Powerful. We appreciate all of those comments. Another one from Mindy. Forgiveness for me was key to my process. Looking the women in the eyes and telling her I forgive you was a huge moment in my journey that helped me release the anger and release me from being a victim. And I want to piggyback off that. William, you didn't have that opportunity. That individual died on impact.
Yeah, he died on impact. No one from his family or anyone like that, came to say, how is he? Or anything.
Yeah.
I never heard from anyone. My my story, first thing I went through, they flew me to the hospital, and I went through 17 hours of surgery, the first surgery, just to keep me alive. Okay.
17 hours.
And it was a 2-week period, 17 hours, the first surgery. And it was a 2-week period of somebody asking every day, is he going to live? We don't know. Is he going to live? We don't know. Okay. It was 2 weeks before they came back and said, okay, he's stable. It was a month before I woke up and looked out the hospital room. And I saw my mom, and I knew, oh, something's not right, man. My mom's here. Something's not right. Okay. And I didn't have a clue. Well, why am I here? What happened? What happened? Why am I here? And I was literally broke from head to toe. And they explained to me about a drunk driver. Well, that didn't mean a whole lot to me. And then when, found out that the guy died on impact, okay, that didn't mean a whole lot to me either. It was like, well, I don't have to worry about him. He died. And it was later on when I got in good enough shape, I wanted to go thank everybody I could. And I went to the fire department to thank the firemen that made the decision to get me out of the car and whatnot. And they explained to me, they said, yeah, when we got there, they said we could smell the dude. The steering wheel had got him and basically split him in half. He was dangling in and out of the car. And they said, before we got out of fire trucks, we could smell the alcohol. Okay, we knew to come over to get you. Okay, and I was so grateful for what they did, but I often wondered, am I ever going to hear from anybody related to this guy, their family, anything? Is anybody going to come say, we're sorry? And no, that day never came. Okay, and do I regret it that it never came? No. But would I do it myself? No. If I caused damage, I'm going to admit I caused damage, and whatever. But that's just me. I'm that type of person. But it was a lot to think about. But and I knew people that knew the guy. I knew people that were at the bar that night. I knew 8 people that were at the bar that night. The bartender had cut the guy off, and they said, hey, come sit over here, come drink with us, okay? Forget that bartender. We'll hook you up. You drinking Tom Collins? And they walked him to his car. Maybe they carried him to the car. I don't know at that point. But they told him, make sure you buckle your seatbelt. And the guy didn't make it a half a mile from the bar. And we met head on.
You know what your story just did for me right now, William? I never thought about that. How about that? I can admit that. I learned something right now. Even the people that are behind some of these horrific occurrences have had people around them that are just as responsible. Bill DeMont and William, I just picked up on that right now.
Yeah. The only person that I could say, the bartender was the responsible one.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The bartender cut the guy off. But here's what the bartender also did. We have a law in the state of Florida called the Dramshaw Law. When the bartender cuts you off, the bar is no longer responsible. Okay, if you're drunk and you fall off your bar stool and hit your head on the table behind you, you can't sue the bar. Okay, they are no longer responsible the minute they tell you that you're too drunk. So despite they served the guy to the point he's sick, when they told him no more, they're no longer responsible. So I basically didn't have anyone to sue to pay for my medical bills or to pay for any of my bills. Okay.
Well, William, how did you get through? How did you get through that? Because I noticed that you incurred so many. I mean, I looked at the number earlier. It was incredible. How did you go through that?
I don't know. I guess I'm cute. I don't know. It wasn't easy. Let me say, when I first the hospital wanted to keep me. I had enough of being a human pincushion. I wanted out of the hospital after several months. I came home. When I got home, I realized I did not have a wheelchair ramp to get into my house. And it hadn't been working for months, so there wasn't no money to go buy stuff to just build one. I had neighbors, I had people in the community. I had so many people that were there helping me out, and I'm grateful for that. And I had people that helped me.
William, I got to tell you, I want to read some comments and then throw it over to Bill DeMott to get the last word. I just want to tell you before I throw it over to some of our viewers with their comments. Not only does your story rock my world, I feel like after this podcast, and I haven't said this publicly, but I need to process everything, because calling you a hero it's not enough. And seeing your outlook makes me feel guilty that today I was upset that maybe there was some internet issues or a technical gaffes that I couldn't really prevent. Just seeing your attitude. And I want to thank you for not only showing up here on face value, but William, I also see you commenting on the other shows, and I got to tell you right off the bat, you've always been classy. Your comments have always been intelligent. You've always been with us since day one as well. You mean so much to us as part of this family, and I want to read some comments to show you that before I kick it over to Bill. Mindy, wow, William, I am sorry, you are a true survivor. JC Farina, so sorry, William, I'm sending you hugs and prayers. I'm on board with Bill and William. JC also says states need to hunker down on DWI and DUI. Enough is enough. Any of us could be telling this story someday. Before we kick it over to William Wilson, Bill DeMott, the floor is yours.
There's not much for me, to say. I consider William a friend, whether he realizes it or not, a mentor on this journey of life. He and Miss Karen and everybody up in Ocala and Gary have really helped and been a big part of helping me navigate the muddy waters. And it's inspirational. It's not. I mean, it's just, listen. If someone says, "What do you want from me?" I'm just human. That's William. He's just human, and he does his best to make the sun come out every day, whether it's raining or not. He more than does his share to raise other people up. He shares unselfishly and goes through a lot, and never once puts his head between his legs and pouts that I'm aware of. And if he did, he has every right. Because I take days where I just have had enough. So he's an inspiration. He is a hero, man. He is a hero. He's a victim. He's serving a life sentence. Most importantly, he's a survivor. And you can look at how hard it's been, but thank God he fought. Thank God that he's here right now, because if he wasn't, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be talking about anything we talk about. So I'm just always appreciative. I apologize for my absence as of late, but know that I'm doing our work down this way, and I hope to see you very soon in the new year. I respect you. I think the world of you, and it's always good to see you, sir, and thank you so much.
We'll send you a link to hook you up to Zoom so you can Zoom with us. Okay?
Yeah.
And be a part of it. And I just want to say, there's this dude running around the wrestling world that sold a bunch of T-shirts that said next, okay? And I think I saw him the other day on TV, but there was this guy that was first.